So here is the AMS light. It's the original AMS that Bamboo Labs came out with. So because it's an older model, like there's an AMS and an AMS2 now, I was able to pick it up for a relatively cheap price. And what I've set it up with is on the right here is my usual PLA that I print all my models out of. And on the left here I've got PETG. Now the idea, like I'm not interested in colour printing or any of that sort of stuff, but what I am going to do is use the PETG just for interface layers on the supports. So because the two don't stick together, apparently that makes it much easier to remove your supports. Which is, you know, obviously a good and handy thing, so I figured it was worthwhile getting it just for that. Now, one of the, negatives of having an AMS style is that it does come up with waste, what we affectionately refer to as poop. Now, I've always had this poop holder. It's one of the first things that I printed out, I think, when I got my printer, and it has, as you can see, it's had a bit of tough love. It's damaged there, and also the top corner, at one point it got damaged as well, so it has been used and abused a bit. But my concern going forward with having an AMS now is that there's going to be much more of this poop. So the very first thing that I'm printing out for it is a new holder, and if you compare the footprint size, it's more than double. It's significantly bigger. So what I've also done, because I have concerns about this PTFE tubing, like if the connection got too far over and was too high, like I don't want anything pulling on these tubes. So what I've done is I've just very sort of like rough and ready kind of put supports around my printer, because this thing does have a fair bit of vibration. It does move over time. I'm constantly putting it back into place, and that's fine when it was just the printer by itself, because I used to have my filament up here on a roller, so that it wasn't affected by vibration. But with this new system, and you can see this thing is rocking around a little bit sometimes. And so yeah, I've kind of mounted everything so that nothing's going to move out of place and pull against the tube. So anyway, once this is all finished, I'll prime and paint it orange, which is my colour of choice for poop buckets, and maybe giving you an update shot then. Here we are at 27% done, so just a little bit of progress update. So here you can see how the PETG filament, which is a different colour, makes it easier to see as well, kind of works on top of the support. So the idea is it makes it easy to break those supports off. Okay, and so here is the final bucket compared to my old poop bucket. So yeah, pretty massive difference in size, but yeah. So this, I'll link the original designer of this part, but this is not the standard design. So like basically I have made it as wide as my desk here, and I think, I modified the length as well, but also because this only, the original design comes up so far, what I've done, so you can see, because I wanted it to match the height of my previous one, go back in there. So what I've done is just in Blender, when I was modifying the width and the length, I've also just tacked on this plate to the original design. So this isn't part of the original standard design, so it's all a bit custom, but yeah, I will credit the actual designer of the original bucket. But so yeah, now I will rip off the supports, prime it and paint it, and then it will be my new poop bucket. Oh, a couple of things I did forget to mention. Firstly, these are the collars. I've just downloaded this design from, I think, Maker World for my particular brand, Sunlu, of filaments. So they don't perfectly fit because this is obviously designed for Bamboo Lab filament. Not saying there's anything wrong with Bamboo Lab filament, it's just I've always bought this cheap Sunlu stuff and I find it perfectly fine for my needs. So yeah, so I printed out 4 obviously because it's a 4 spool holder, so but I've only got 2 reels on at the moment. But the other thing is, if anyone happens to know, so the way this design works, there's a holder which you've got 4 screws, 2 on each side, for the AMS, but when it comes, the packet, it comes with 5 screws, so I've got no idea what that 5th screw is meant to be for. So if anyone does happen to know, yeah, please comment. So one of the problems when you rescale stuff is there can be unintended consequences. Unfortunately, I think these side vents, there's 2 of them, and they are so big that the poop will actually fit through them, so I'll have to kind of put some tape over them or block them up a bit. I mean, these holes are fine, but yeah, those guys, that's a problem. And here is the final product in its new home.